Hi, I'm Jesse Ahmet, your host of Valley News Now, and I have Jeremy Traen with us today, CEO of ShareHouse. And you have a really unique story on how you made it this far. You look at you today, super successful, CEO of ShareHouse. So let's bring us back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go right to the picture.
Sure.
So we can go to young Jeremy here as an 18-year-old. I love it. Okay, so what was young Jeremy up to?
That picture in particular, I was
Yes.
in my first apartment. I moved out the age of 18,
Okay.
and I was using quite a bit of street drugs
Okay.
and alcohol and whatnot, and just
Sure.
kind of living carefree. And I wasn't even on the lease of that apartment, and just kind of squatting, if anything. So. Yeah, that's kind of where I was at in my life.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of, a lot of us as teenagers start to head down that road a little bit. But sounds like you were going maybe full speed on the highway.
Yep. Absolutely. Trying to figure out how I could get even further down. Faster, and absolutely. Yep.
So you shared with me a little bit that you were going to graduate that year. Then hopefully the next year, and then it was just a no-go.
Yeah, so I don't call it my super senior year, maybe more my super junior year, I think. And eventually I was asked to leave Fargo South, as my shirt
What a nice way to put that.
Yeah. They said you can leave, and I agreed. And so I was eventually kicked out of Woodrow Wilson, but then I got clean for about a month. Way back then, and I was able to get my GED before addiction took over again.
Which is incredible. 1 month and you were able to get that GED. I mean, it just shows the potential inside of you, even through all of that. Then addiction took over again. And then where'd you go from there?
From there, I used, after my GED for another couple of years, and got in worse shape than that picture. I've been arrested a few times for possession of sorts.
Okay.
And then eventually, one day I started thinking, and it's like I'm kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I need to try something different. And
good for you.
I went to treatment for the umpteenth time, and decided maybe I should give this a try. And so I gave it a wholehearted try finally.
Wow. So you'd been there other times, but this was just
Four
the
times.
time. 4 times.
Yep, four
where
times.
you decided I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna really give it my all. And so that was that the turning moment, or turning year, or whatever it took?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say it's a turning moment. It's a period of time that I started realizing more and more as more was revealed, that it's like, I need to kind of adjust this, adjust that.
Right.
The thing that I always say to a lot of people, a lot of our clients is that people think that they have to come to treatment, come to ShareHouse because of they have to want it for themselves. That's not the case. I didn't get clean wanting it for myself.
Really?
I didn't want to go to prison. And, today...
You're going down that highway and you saw the sign at the end.
Yeah.
Like, this could be where I'm headed. I don't want to go there.
Yep. A lot of my peers and a lot of the people that I held up high were going to prison. And
so that was what initially you were like, I don't want to go to prison.
Yeah, essentially. And today, 19 years later, it's not, I don't wake up thinking, I don't want to go to prison, so I better not use. I have other things on my mind. So
19 years.
Yeah, 19 years, couple months ago.
Almost half and half of your life then.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
yes.
I'm sure you weren't addicted since you were a child, but you know what I mean. Since then.
Right.
Since then. Incredible. And so when you started at ShareHouse, where did you start?
I started as a behavioral health technician.
Okay.
So I was the person signing people in and out, giving breathalyzers, urine analysis, things like that, while I was going to school for my undergrad in social work, with my dream to become an addiction counselor, which I achieved a few years later.
Neat.
Yeah.
And then kind of maybe name a couple positions on your way up to CEO.
Oh, geez. Behavioral health technician. I was line counselor at outpatient. I became the program director of outpatient, VP of residential, and eventually the CEO.
The
So this is
CEO.
my 7th role at
Wow.
ShareHouse in the last 17 years.
It is so neat, and I think it's so great. Obviously, you don't have to have the experience that the addiction experience, but what a key to be able to relate to people that are going through that at that moment and really know what they need. I mean, you've actually been there, so you know what they need and how to maybe help motivate them or help them along in their journey. And you probably know, I feel like that parent that was kind of a naughty teenager, you kind of know, like, I know that trick.
Yes. I was in treatment. I was that guy. I was that kid who,
There's a few tricks.
I've messed around with some stuff and kind of gotten around some urine analysis in different ways throughout the years, and so I kind of know what to look for.
That's awesome.
In my role at ShareHouse.
And you can't get that in college.
No, you can't.
No, that's just life experience only.
Yep. I didn't need to go to college and learn about different drugs. I already knew what it was.
Like I already got that portion. I know that. And so ShareHouse, I wanted to talk a little bit about what ShareHouse is, and in case people don't know, never heard of it before.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring up the website here too. I've just been kind of checking things out, and you have so many resources. And I do think it's hard for people, or maybe not hard, but one of the goals of this interview is to get that word out there. So you need treatment. Maybe you're just like you. I don't want to go to prison. Isn't necessarily that I'm really that interested in getting clean, but I see where this road is taking me, and I don't want to go there. I mean, you've got walk-in options. Maybe I'll just let you talk a little bit about the different options you have.
Yep. So we have an outpatient facility in Fargo. We have a walk-in clinic there, of where individuals come in, they receive an assessment. From there, working with their counselor that sees them, they kind of determine the level of care. We have residential, as you just pulled up there. So we have residential in Fargo and Grand Forks. Our residential facilities serve all of North Dakota and all of Minnesota, taking all sorts of funding sources. But then once again, we do have our outpatient facility in Fargo here. Beyond that, as kind of a bit of a step down, not level of care, but we have supportive housing, so sober housing, recovery living is what we call it.
Okay.
So moving either from residential to outpatient to make that process a little bit more seamless.
Yeah.
We do have that program that people can come into, and it helps kind of bolster that.
Help that situation. Working in the news department too, there's all these stories of different individuals that come through, and I think it's so important to get the message out that we have this and that recovery is possible. This isn't just a life sentence. Hopefully we're not at that point, but it isn't. You can recover, as you are a shining example of.
Thank you.
And there's services to help you. So like you said, there's residential services, there's walk-in services. I was going to ask you too, when I saw in there, did I also see like a mental health crisis?
Yes.
Because that is such a thing right now, and people don't know where to go, they don't know what to do if they're having that mental health crisis, and so you're also a resource for that?
Well, for scheduling appointments, and so we do have mental health therapists on staff. We have a licensed psychologist.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely. That can talk. It doesn't have to be a substance use disorder issue. It can be, if there's mental health concerns.
That's incredible.
Come in and talk to somebody, absolutely.
Just kind of always looking for those resources to help people with, we hear so much, there's just not enough resources, and I'm sure you guys are very busy too, but another place where you can go.
Yep.
It's amazing. So, and like you said, be able to walk you into that treatment and to walk you kind of out of that treatment, sober housing, recovery living, and then, on from there to hopefully just on your own.
Yeah, with aftercare. The other thing I will say is another service that we've recently opened up within the last year is medication-assisted therapy.
I was looking at that.
Yep.
So maybe explain a little about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So medication-assisted therapy, it is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah.
We have 2 prescribers that prescribe medication to help kind of curb those urges and cravings and whatnot. And so you work individually with them on a regular basis to just make sure that we got you as buttoned up as possible and supported as possible, whatever they need as an individual.
That is so amazing and wonderful. And I'm just thinking of, I know people get so worried about that too. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle the the withdrawal symptoms, and so that's another option that you have along with therapy. It isn't just one or the other, which I think is really, really neat and needed.
Yep,
Yeah, definitely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Anything else you would like to share before I let you get on with your busy day today?
That's kind of in a nutshell our services that we provide.
Yeah. Your website is great. I spent some time on there today, and I mean, if you are at all looking for these kind of services or know someone who is, just want to maybe familiarize yourself before. I think it's so important to do that ahead of time, like to see what there is out there, so when those crises come your way or when they come to a friend, you know exactly where to go. And so it's sharehouse.org. And Jeremy Traen, thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.